a lot of people call Tim Pool kind of an alarmist because of him talking about civil war and things like that constantly. And he's always highlighting things like Antifa and staging bricks in like inner city areas and things like that for some quote unquote protests and things that government does to ideologically attack even former presidents, things like that. And I just heard the greatest term for it: warm insurgency. And it's a thing where, we haven't had a hot conflict yet, in the sense of, oh, it's on, it's the boog, go get your Hawaiian print t-shirt, your hockey mask, and your plate carrier and your gun. It's that one side is allowed to do things similar to that. The Chaz thing, Chaz Chop, where they're growing plants on laid out cardboard because they don't know how to garden, because they finally come out of their ejacularium and decided that they wanted to protest the big bad government. Well, not really even protest the government. They'll say that, but it's the protest of essentially white supremacy or any of that crap, or police, or what have you. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm gonna stop. So again, without trailing off, what do I mean by a warm insurgency or a warm conflict? It's the people who are a part of the establishment, which would actually be the government, then it's useless idiots like Antifa, BLM. They were allowed to run roughshod in 2020, over 100 plus days of riots, and it was all protests and mostly peaceful but fiery protests and crap like that. Those people are part of the establishment. They're just being used by the establishment, and the establishment will use their narratives against the people they really want to get rid of, which are people that are going to tell them no, i.e. the unvaxxed, gun owners, people that aren't going to submit to unconstitutional stuff like that. And, it's crazy that Tim Pool's taking a lot of heat for talking about that type of thing and saying that a civil war is going to happen. And it was Chris Weatherman that is in an interview he did with, I can't remember the podcast he's on, but it's the most recent one with a dude. And he's talking about warm conflict or warm insurgency. And man, if that isn't the greatest word for it, because they're allowed to do things. They're allowed to throw bricks. They're allowed to do all that crap, even shoot people. And most of the charges get dropped unless maybe somebody who has a conscience stands up in one area that's a liberal area. But for the most part, it goes unpunished for the most part. And I don't know. I see that we are in a warm conflict. It hasn't popped off, but that's the best way to describe what is happening right now. It just kind of blows my mind that there's a lot of people that still don't see that happening. There's a lot of people that think that people who think this way are crazy, but that's kind of one of the reasons I'm trying to get in better shape. It's the genesis of the entire thing, of me trying to get in better shape. I always had the prepper mindset, but you can buy a lot of crap. It does take getting out and doing stuff, and I did do a lot in the woods, bushcrafting and stuff like that, but like taking the physical conditioning up a notch is I think a little bit more serious when somebody starts doing that. And I just thought that it is very much a sign of people getting their crap together if they're trying to get physically conditioned and realizing that we are in a hot conflict. There's cars still coming by, so I'm going to end this video, but that was just kind of the thoughts I was having while I was listening to a podcast on this ruck here, because I'm out on this little track I've shown you guys in recent videos. But man, just think about what that means, a warm conflict. And it's going to be used against the people that they want the least. They're going to allow these, shall we say, nefarious yet useful idiots to do this stuff. They're weaponizing immigration against us. They're weaponizing the people who, are convenient for them, Antifa, BLM, that type of thing. And I think a lot of you guys know that, but it's just one of those deals that that term struck me, and I think that it needs to be propagated. You know, warm conflict. That really stuck with me. So what do you see right now that is warm conflict? There's a lot of that out there, and it's too much to discuss in a 4 or 5 minute video, but like, man, you know, what do you see that I haven't mentioned that is part of warm conflict? You know, weaponizing people against more freedom-minded people, weaponizing the government against people who would stand up against them, you know. I don't know, leave your comments below. Those are my rucking thoughts for today. I don't do a ruck every day, but I try to do 3 or 4 times a week. And I may or may not make videos every time I ruck, but just been listening to a lot of stuff while I'm doing it and thinking about a lot. And it gives you a chance to process things and understand things and just mentally go down that road. And I don't know, that's all I got to say. Just figured I'd pop this one up on the YouTube. Until next time.